Actually, last time we were surprisingly like in sync, lined up very well. I was shocked.
That's because we're best friends.
That's true because because my internet kept fucking cutting out during it, and I was like, oh well, this is gonna be I'm gonna have like a lot of editing. It was very low maintenance.
How is editing the talk of Donut and Boo?
They're in it.
They just wanted to be a guest host, honestly.
I tried doing like noise reduction and it only removed like a handful of the barks, and I was like, well, this is it. And then the parts where I just wasn't talking, I just silenced my audio, and it was just you. And yeah,
all right. Well,
we did the best we could.
Yep, it is what it is.
It is. That's right. Do you feel comfortable doing our introduction yet or not yet?
I'm not yet because I got so wrapped up in this. I'm not.
That's
Hi,
fine.
guys.
Don't sweat it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oddities. I'm Cassie.
I'm Kellie.
And welcome back to Strangetown. And before we forget, actually, this is exciting.
Ooh, what's exciting?
This is like coming out weeks from now, but we hit 200 followers on Instagram, which probably sounds like a drop in the bucket for most people.
But this is really exciting for us. And actually, we're at 201 now.
Woohoo! And we surpassed 50,000 downloads, baby.
Thank you so much, listeners.
Yes, thank you to you guys. But if you haven't joined for the ride on social media, all of our information is in the description, as is our email address if you'd like to send personal stories or topics or just say hello. And there's a link to our merch shop.
Please buy our merch. It's really cool.
Please. We haven't had a merch purchase in a while, so I'm just saying, everybody.
help the odd family out. Buy some merch.
Help us out. I need to sit down and make some new designs is what I need to do.
I can do that too now.
You can.
The excitement is real.
That's true. I won't give away secrets on here, but you and I can talk about it.
Yes.
So let's see. Well, this is the point at which I ask how you are. We did a little catch up prior to this, but
I am ultimately doing really great. So I had a really great week. Not much to report. I dove deep into a topic this week, and I just can't wait for our listeners to hear it. I can't wait for you to hear all of it.
I'm so excited because I've been getting little nuggets from you over the course of the week, and I've been like, I'm very invested in this.
Yeah, and I'm trying okay, don't tell Cassie. I want her to be surprised, but then there's times where it's just like, wait, this is too good not to share, and which those things that I have shared, you can agree. Mm-hmm. It's just
they were very good.
When I picked this topic, I didn't know it was going to be this great. Genuinely.
And yet here we are.
But how are you? What's going on with you?
I am great, thank you. Corey and I went to a local baseball game. It was like the AA team, I think it is, and then it goes AAA, and then it goes Major League. Yeah, so the AA team. It was fun. I love going to baseball games in the summer. And Corey had a little going away party with his brother and some friends because we're moving. By the time this comes out, we will have moved. And now I'm recording with you. So
it's like the highlight of my week,
good stuff
with you.
Yeah, same. So all good things. We watched. What have we been watching? Because we've been doing we rewatched all of the Harry Potters, and I have to be honest, we made fun of them relentlessly. And then we watched.
What is your least favorite Harry Potter movie?
Oh God, my least favorite one. I actually really hate the ones where they're little kids. I don't really start liking the movies, remotely liking them until I guess it's the Goblet of Fire when they're doing the tournament. That one's my favorite, I think.
Yeah. Michael and I both agree we cannot stand Chamber of Secrets.
Oh my God, I know. It's one. Just I find them to be really precocious as children, and I'm just I just really don't like child actors, period. So
I mean, that's fair, actually.
I know that's a shitty thing to say, but I just don't.
I think the only child actors that I've actually genuinely liked, and it was recent, it's the cast of Stranger Things.
True.
Like,
Yeah, that's true. That's a
honestly.
good point.
And like, it's kind of cool because we've seen them grow up now. But, like,
I know.
it's really, really, I think that's the first time that I wasn't annoyed. But it's Stranger Things,
Yeah,
so
you
there's
know
that.
what? I think that's a good point because I thought the kids in the first season, I was like, damn, these are some cool fucking kids. Like, this better be how my kids are one day. So I think that's like the first time I've ever said that.
Love that.
Thank you. Thank you for pointing it out. So I don't hate all child actors,
You
just
don't.
most of them.
You don't. Just, the vast majority.
Just overwhelming majority. So yeah, that's kind of what's been cooking. I've been trying to also I've been trying to read. So I decided to get a couple of the Bridgerton books. So I'm trying to read those right now, and it's not really going for me yet, but maybe it will.
Have you watched the series?
Of course.
I have. I can't get into it.
You can't get it. I love the
I
series.
literally, like, my ADHD brain's like, no thanks.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, it is not the fastest paced show in the universe, so I could get that.
Yeah, no, and it's funny. The person who recommended that show to me was my mother-in-law.
Hi. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And from my understanding, that's a pretty interesting person to be recommending it to me. So.
Yeah, the first season's super fucking spicy. The second season isn't really, but like, I mean, there's
The
like a
second
lot
season,
of
they cool
nudity and
down.
like a lot of sex. Yeah, the second season they're like, okay, we'll just like maybe take back a little bit of that. But then people were supposedly like pissed about the second season. They're like, where's the sex? And then it was like, okay, well, I don't know. So, whatever.
It's all that
Just
quarantine
saying.
people were getting. It had to watch it somewhere, right?
Yeah, you gotta light that fire. So, well, yours. So I don't know. Do you want to start this week, or do you want me to start this week? I mean,
I started last week, so I feel bad starting this week.
I know, but you're like, I mean, I want to hear it. I think you're like very excited to share it. Do you want to go first? You can do it.
I mean, sure, if that's okay.
Of course, that's okay. Yes, Jesus, take the wheel. Go for it.
Yes. So,
yes.
let's talk about this. So, my topic this week is the Kendrick House. And the Kendrick House is located in Carthage, Missouri, and it has quite an exciting past and it is often said that if you gather all the ghosts, you would have quite the crowd. From the Civil War soldiers in the front yard to a little girl in a white dress peeking from the upstairs window, this historic home has quite the past.
Ooh,
Now, the Kendrick House was originally owned by Senate Rankin? That's a little iffy.
What a name.
Who sold the home to William and Elizabeth Kendrick in 1860. Now, just like, this is where it gets crazy. So, this house quite literally has blood that runs deep. From the ox blood stained paint covering the oak floors to the dark streaks that run off the edges of the family table, visible in only certain light, of course. This home just has, when I say it has a history, oh my lord, it has a history.
I can't wait.
So they purchased the home in 1860, and just 1 year later, the Civil War began. This is where things get really cool. This home was used by both the North and the South during the Civil War. So,
how?
So in 1861, the North used it for their headquarters and a hospital. And by 1863, the South took it over as their headquarters and hospital.
Okay.
Right?
So dead people, though, like, for sure, because of hospital.
This is where it gets really cool. It is believed that the Kendricks' family long wooden dining table was used during surgeries performed on the soldiers wounded in battle.
Oh my god.
Supposedly, the table was moved just outside the back door of the house during the procedures, and buckets were placed at the end of the table to collect the blood.
Oh god. And then they used it for eating?
And then they would eat dinner on this table.
That's so unsanitary.
Isn't that crazy? So it is said that the ghosts and or spirits of the Civil War soldiers can be seen in the front yard and on the grounds. Just hanging. Mingling. Just hanging. There's also been multiple reports of seeing a man with curly hair peering through the windows of the building in the workshop behind the home. not sure what his story is, but it is believed that he was a possible slave of the past, which is very unfortunate. But this is where my excitement just took.
Tell us
everything. Like, this is... So, let's talk about the little girl in the white dress, shall we?
Oh, there's always a little girl in a white dress. I love it.
They make it sound so eerie, but yet so pure.
I know, right? All at once. I think that's what makes it so eerie.
Right? And then, like, something about small children.
Oh, yeah, it's the... Dude, kids are creepy.
Instant. Yeah. So, let's, like, backtrack for just a second. William and Elizabeth Kendrick left the home to their son, and after he died in 1901, his sister inherited the home, Fanny Kendrick. Her husband, Carl Janney... What? I know, right? That's an awesome name.
Fanny.
Her and her husband lived in the home and had 7 children. The fun thing here is Carl and Fanny were my great-great-grandparents. So this is where, like, oh my gosh, I have a literal family tie to the home.
You do! Oh, this is so exciting.
And it doesn't end there. So they had 7 children. Their firstborn being Elva Pauline Janney, who actually just went by Pauline. She was born with a spinal defect, and because she had the spinal defect, she was not able to play with children. And would often sit in the window and look out on the grounds watching other children play.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
She unfortunately died when she was 4 years old.
Oh.
That's right, listeners. Pauline's my great-great-aunt.
Oh.
One of the most seen ghosts at the Kendrick House is my relative.
That's so spookala-bookala. I love this so much for you and for us. Oh. Yes.
So, like I said, when I had picked this topic, had no idea that I was going to have such a strong family tie to it at all. Had no idea that I was related to said ghost. Just like, my topic just got so much cooler. That's how my brain worked, quite frankly.
I love this. I think too, like, well, because you try to visit Missouri on and off, right? Like, so
yes, it's been a minute since I've been able to go visit family, but yeah.
I really feel maybe you should see if you can go to this place. Is it, like, publicly owned now, or is it privately owned?
No, it is. It's, so, I'll get to that in a minute, but it is a place we can visit, which is really neat.
Yes.
And I do think that we need to make a special trip and do a tour. Just saying. I think that would be super fun.
I would gladly pay if we can get a private tour and, like, try and find the child ghost. Big time.
So we may or may not have a connection, and I will get to that in a minute. We may be able to get a private tour.
Okay, great.
I'm gonna blow your freaking mind, dude.
Good. I can't wait to melt. Okay.
Not only is Elva Pauline often seen in the window, she is also often seen playing outside with children, which I think is really special, because she was never able to do that.
Yeah.
When she was, with the world, or present. I don't know how to say that. And if that wasn't cool enough, I also found out that there is another little ghostly child who is a cousin of mine. Her name is Carol Sue Janney. She unfortunately passed away at the age of 2 from polio, but she is also seen playing with other children out in the yard.
That's really sweet. I love that.
Yeah. I have, like, a bunch of little ghostly relatives.
Little ghost buddies.
I just feel like I need to go visit them and try to see them. Quite literally.
You should bring, like, toys. You should bring, like, I don't know, stuffies.
Something. Like a nice little offering. That would be cool.
Yeah. Ooh.
So, like I said again, when I picked the Kendrick House, I had no idea I would have such a deep connection. And it turns out that my mom is friends with the woman who takes care of the house.
What the fuck?
The caretaker, Kellie Harris, has said when she is at the home, she knows she isn't alone, but she's never considered it to be scary. She will often hear voices and often discovers objects that have been moved. So that's
Yes.
pretty
Yes.
awesome. The Kendrick home was eventually inherited by Carl and Fanny's son, Andrew Palmer Jack, Janney, and remained in the hands of the family until 1980, and when it was purchased by Victorian Carthage and is now a living museum and often hosts haunted tours.
Oh my god, yes. Wow, so this was privately owned for a long time. Up until 1980. That's long.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was originally the land was purchased in the 1850s.
Yeah.
And the original owner started building on it. I'm not entirely... He never finished, but he had sold it to, which, surprise, those are my great-great-great-grandparents.
Right.
That he sold it to.
Right.
They finished the home and, had all of their children were born in the home. One of their children, which is my great-grandmother, she and her husband were married in the parlor of the home, where they enjoyed cake and fruit punch. It's literally in the book I have.
Oh my god, but of course.
So, deep family histories. Yeah. Deep family histories, so cool. Deep family things and roots. And it's the hauntings of it, the Civil War, I think it's just so cool that both the North and the South used it for headquarters and hospitals, and that's just really, wow, mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, it's super unique. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
So, they hear voices and things like that, and stuff moves, and, is that attributed to the kids, or is that attributed to, the other ghosts, or do you know?
You know what? I'm not sure. That was really unclear with my research, but I kind of feel so a lot of the time the curtains will move, and Kellie has said that she chalks it up to the little girl looking through the window.
Yeah.
The curtain to see through it,
Yeah.
I remember visiting this property when I was really, really, really young, and it was closed, so we were just walking around it, and it was really neat. Civil War soldiers they carved their initials into the bricks and the foundation. And I thought that was the coolest piece of history. Again, not knowing that I would one day be covering this topic, right? But
yeah.
My mom used to tell me about they would take drawers from the house and use it to feed their horses. So they would fill the drawers with food and feed the horses with it, which is funny to me.
That's cool.
The original owner, William, he's not the original, the second owner, I guess, but William Kendrick, he stayed and occupied the home during the Civil War while his wife and children went back to Ohio, because it was more of a safer area to be in during the war.
Yeah.
And he was a blacksmith during the time, so I wonder if that was another reason why they made this headquarters, this owner is a blacksmith, he can help make sure we have what we need, things like that, with benefits to the war. But what I find really interesting is that my great grandfather Carl was a Quaker.
Really?
Yes. So I just think that's kind of cool. Through all of that, again, when I was doing all this research, I was also finding family histories, which I just thought was super cool.
Yeah.
And I believe there are there's a lot of talk of just other ghosts and spirits, but not exactly knowing who they are or what they are, but they are friendly. And I guess a very notable mention, this house was built in the 1800s, right? Late 1800s, we'll say.
Yeah. The
stairs do not creak.
Really?
When you walk up and down the stairs, it's silent.
Wow.
And I think that's very interesting for a house.
Yeah, how do they
so
not?
Old that they just, it's silent. And I don't know. I think that's very
really
interesting
cool.
And very, very cool. And is that how the ghosts get around without being detected?
Maybe. God, they just don't build them like they used to. What the hell?
No, they really don't. And actually, another cool thing, what was it called? Paranormal investigators.
Yeah.
Actually took UV lights and examined the kitchen table, and you can clearly see that there is definitely blood running deep in those grains.
Oh my god, I love it.
The table is still there to this day. Actually, most of the original furniture is still there today.
That's awesome. I have to be honest though, it's very nauseating to me that they would like operate on people and then just like eat off the table.
Like, yeah, like it was nothing.
What the fuck? That's so unsanitary for so many reasons.
There was no concern. They didn't know what COVID was back then.
'Twas a better time.
It was a more simple time.
Oh,
they
God.
didn't have to worry about these things.
That's so gnarly. That's really cool.
Right.
I wish, like, so my family history, like, on my side is, like, we know to an extent, but then it just kind of, like, drops away. I would love to do, like, a deep genealogical dive sometime.
So I have to say, I'm really fortunate because my great aunt, she published my great-great-great-grandmother's Civil War journals.
Which is so cool.
Which it is really cool. And, you know, I did not appreciate this as much as I do now. I got this when I was, like, I think in 7th grade or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's really neat. And it was cool then, but, like, it's much
now
cooler
it's, like,
to me now.
cool. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't think we were here yet. Like, my family, I don't think any of us were here that far back. Like, I don't think we hit until the 1900s.
Well, that's kind of cool, though, that you can at least track that far back. I mean, I did not actually realize that family owned this home.
That's so cool.
Like, that's where it's, like, that my mind went, like, exploding last night, that I connected everything, and I was like, oh, they were my great-great-great-grandparents. She was my great-great-aunt. This was my cousin. This was this. This was my grandfather's parents. Like, and it was just all, like, I couldn't stop.
And now you know so much
stop
shit.
Reading and looking up. Yeah, it's so cool. But, like, the most, like, and genuinely, it's been so hard not to tell everybody I know I'm covering a topic and I'm related to a ghost in it. Like,
dude, you have to tell everybody you know, and then be like, and you should listen on August, like, whatever this is, the 29th or 28th or something?
28th.
28th, thank you.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, just cannot wait. Cannot freaking
hype
wait.
it up. Yeah, that's so cool.
So, and there you have it. That's the history of the Kendrick House. It's still standing. It's the only pre-Civil War home standing in Jasper County, Missouri, which is Carthage, Missouri. Tours are available. If you're in the area, I encourage you to go visit.
That's
Maybe you'll
awesome.
see a little girl in a white dress.
Oh my god, I hope so. And if you see her, I hope she's playing with other kids. That just makes my heart so happy.
Right, because it's like full circle. She wasn't able to do it, and now she's like free to. And that's really cool to like...
Yeah.
She's clearly not suffering. And that's the other thing. Like, apparently all the ghosts here are very friendly.
Yeah.
Well, while it's still spoopy, it's cool.
Yeah, it's like a happy spookala bookala, which I love that. What a good combo.
I love spookala bookala. Love that word.
Thank you. Coined. I should trademark it. Boom.
You should. It's done.
It's done. Consider it done. Oh, well, good job.
Snapped.
That was such a cool topic. I'm glad you covered it. I'm glad you found out so much about like your past too. I mean, that's just like an added bonus, right?
Yes, thank you, bestie. I was like,
yes.
And I mean, you know, I was like bursting at the seams to tell you things.
Yes, I'm so happy, and I just love that they're friendly, happy.
It was a very good feel story, right?
Yeah, it is. Wow. Okay, so I'm also covering a structure. If you've been a long time member of the Odd Fam, you know that we love talking about hotels on this podcast. So, first of all,
there's something about hotels that are just haunted, and how
that's what I was just going to say.
Cover it
exactly. What is it about hotels?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But, you know, I appreciate it. We have things to talk about.
For sure. So I am covering the Crescent Hotel, which is like a very cool name to me. Like right away I picture like Crescent Moon and I'm like, ooh, vibes. So it's the 1886 Crescent Hotel and Spa. It is in Eureka Springs. By the way, coolest town name. Eureka Springs.
It is.
I love that. So it is said to be one of the most haunted hotels in America. Which is crazy to me that I have, like, not heard of this hotel until I just decided to, like, Google haunted hotels, and there it was. So, over the years, a lot of guests have reported ghost sightings and, like, other paranormal activity. And in 1997, this was purchased by a couple named Marty and Elise Roenick. Ronigic. I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's okay. As a result, after they purchased it, they decided to hire two certified mediums to do a reading of the building. And then the mediums found that the hotel showed signs of being a portal to the other side, like a dimension that holds the spirits of the dead, and it can be accessed by those on the same frequency as ghosts. First of all, how does one get on the same frequency as ghosts? Because I've been trying to get on their frequency for years. Like, I want to see
Maybe it's a
them.
special diet.
Maybe I need to augment. I need to add gluten back in. So the hotel is perched on the crest of West Mountain above the Victorian village of Eureka Springs, Arkansas. The resort itself is 78 rooms. It's not only known as one of America's most distinctive and historic destinations, but it is also renowned for a bevy of spirits that are said to continue to be there. So, it was built by the Eureka Springs Improvement Company and the Frisco Railroad, and it was designed by a man named Isaac L. Taylor, who was a well-known Missouri architect who had designed. Ew, he's from Missouri. I forgot that. What a weird tie-in.
That's cool.
Wow.
We did not mean to do that.
Yes, I know. I know because I researched this like weeks ago and I forgot. Okay, so he had designed several famous buildings in St. Louis. The resort is 27 acres. It's at the north end of West Mountain, and it was chosen for its majestic location overlooking the valley. It was an important time in Eureka Springs history because the healing waters of the Ozarks had become well known across the nation. So people from like all over would flock to this shit in hopes of curing like various ailments and like easing pains and all of that. And so the Crescent Hotel and Spa developers planned to take advantage of these many travelers by building what was at the time the most luxurious resort in the country. So, Powell Clayton, who was a former governor of Arkansas from 1868 to 1870, he formed the Eureka Springs Improvement Company to take advantage of this like relatively prosperous period. And along with several other investors, the railroad joined in on the plan, knowing that the resort could basically only spur on their business. So they brought in a bunch of stonemasons from Ireland, and then they began the construction in 1884. And due to the density of the magnesium limestone used to build the hotel, special wagons were constructed to move these huge pieces of stone from the quarry site, which was on the White River. And then it was designed in like an eclectic array of architectural styles. So they built these like 18-inch walls that were like thick, several towers, there were overhanging balconies, and then there's just like this gigantic stone fireplace in the lobby. And then the construction went on for like 2 years or so. More and more workers are, they're coming on as like electrical lights and modern plumbing and steam heating. There was an elevator that brought in, and there was like extensive landscaping, all these decorations and amenities. And then in the end, the hotel cost at that time $294,000 to build, which was considered, a very extravagant. But if we were to look at that today, it's probably some absurd figure, which I didn't look up, but gazillions.
We both know it's absurd.
Right. So May 20th, 1886, it finally opens. And there's like much fanfare around this, right? So the local Eureka Springs Times Echo called it America's most luxurious resort hotel. And then like these notable figures from across the country attend the grand opening. There's a gala ball. There's a full orchestra and banquet dinner for 400 people. And it's like it was known for offering these large, airy rooms, and there was like these exquisite furnishings. The dining room would seat more than 500 people. There were outside amenities, like a swimming pool, tennis courts, croquet, and there was like this like beautiful flower gardens and all kinds of. It was tight, right? Like this was like the place to be. So
yeah,
immediately
it was a beautiful place to be.
That's right. Immediately, more of the well-to-do of the nation started to like flock to this resort. And once there, they could enjoy not only these supposed healing waters of the spa, but also like stables. They had over 100 horses, all this shit. So the prosperity, however, was not meant to last, okay? So after the turn of the century, so here we are, 1900 beyond, people start to realize that the healing waters didn't do anything. And they're like, oh shit. And then people just like, stop coming to the resort. They're like, okay, well, this isn't doing anything for me. So from 1908 to 1924, the building then becomes utilized as the Crescent College and Conservatory for young women. But it did still function as a resort during the summers. But after operating for 16 years, the revenues from tuition and summer guests, they were just like not high enough to maintain the cost of running this building. So the college closes, and then it's abandoned for 6 years. And then it's reopened as a junior college from 1930 to 1934. And then in 1937, a man named Norman Baker arrives on the scene. And he buys this hotel and he decides he's going to open up a cancer hospital slash health resort. And he starts advertising the miracle cures again from these waters. So he's like, I'm bringing this shit back. Like, whatever. So he says that if you come to this hospital, you can get these miracle cures that do not require surgery. It does not require painful, expensive tests. And the Baker Hospital alleges that its patients would walk away from the resort cancer-free. This guy's an asshole. Because what was unknown to the many desperate
That's
people...
quite the promise.
Yeah, I know. That's like, okay, buddy. So, of course, what was unknown to all these desperate, like, patients that flocked to this area was that Norman Baker's miracle was nothing more than a scam itself. And the man had absolutely zero medical training.
A money grab.
Yeah, basically. He had, in fact, been convicted in Iowa in 1936 for practicing medicine without a license. Furthermore, the American Medical Association had condemned the many elixirs sold for several different ailments, including cancer. And while operating this supposed hospital, he was being investigated by federal authorities and in 1939 was finally arrested for mail fraud, of all things. Like,
out of everything, it was just mail fraud? Just that?
I know.
They didn't want to pin him for anything else? Really?
In fact, one U.S. postal inspector estimated that Baker had made as much as $500,000 per year selling his miracle elixirs through the mail while in Eureka Springs. This guy was a gazillionaire off of this shit. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So Baker is then convicted to serve a 4-year sentence in Leavenworth, which just does not seem like enough to me. 4 years is like a drop in the bucket. I feel like it's not enough. So the investigation reveals that over the years, he had defrauded cancer patients out of approximately $4 million. Now, while no one died from his cures directly, the investigation showed that his treatments most likely hastened the death of those suffering from cancer when they didn't receive the effective forms of treatment. In 1944, he was released from Leavenworth, moved to Florida, and he lived comfortably until he died in 1958. That's some shit to me. I don't think this guy deserved to live comfortably.
He did not deserve to live comfortably because he misled and everyone else suffered because of that.
Yes, I know. It makes me
like he should be charged
about.
for pain and suffering, truly.
Yes, it's terrible. It's awful. So then we have the wars, right? So now we have the wars between 1940 and 1946, so World Wars. The beautiful building once sat empty during this time. But in 1946, the hotel was then purchased by 4 Chicago businessmen who began to restore the old hotel to its former elegance. Though never at the level of its first grand days in the late 1800s, the hotel started to thrive again. But then tragedy strikes in 1967, and a fire sweeps through the 4th floor of the South Wing, and much of it is destroyed. So then over the next several years, it passes through several hands as repairs and restorations are made, and it was never fully restored to its original grandeur. But this changes in 1997 when Marty and Elise Ronick, whatever, they purchased the inn.
Something.
Right. So in May of 1997, they announced, in 5 years, we pledge to have this Grand Lady of the Ozarks back to where she was hundreds of years ago. But Ozark residents, having heard of these promises too many times before, were like, okay, yeah, bullshit. So anyway, 1997, they start to rebuild the spas. The first year, a 6,500 square foot New Moon spa opens, including these fancy showers. There's a hydrotherapy tub, sauna, massage, all this crap.
The whole 9 yards.
Right. The next major project was to restore the hotel's skyline, which was destroyed in that fire in the 60s. And costing well over $1 million, the 3,500 square foot penthouse, which was the original center observation tower, and the 200-pound, 24-foot tall crescent moon weather vane was restored, which is crazy. So in the meantime, restorations of guest rooms and lounges, all this shit was going on. And then on September 6th, 2002, the Rognicks' bold announcement became a reality, and after $5 million in renovations, the hotel has been fully restored to its original glory. So, and now it's functional. And today, It's one of the most visited hotels in the South, but let us talk about the several ghosts that are there.
Yes, let's.
Okay.
Spooky.
So, of course, it's got this long and extensive history. It is one of the most haunted places in the Ozarks, and I guess more largely America, supposedly. So, staff and guests alike tell stories of several ghosts that are still said to inhabit the old hotel. The most often cited ghost is a red haired Irish stonemason who the staff has called Michael. Allegedly, which is very funny to me. It's your husband. Surprise. So
Yep.
Michael was one of the original masons who worked on the hotel's building in 1885. But while he was working on the roof, he lost his balance, fell to the second floor area, and died. Which is like, that's a hell of a way to go. Yeah. So this area now houses what is room 218 of the hotel, and it is said to be the most haunted guest room. Michael is supposedly a mischievous spirit, and he likes to play tricks with lights, and he likes to open and close doors. He likes to turn on the television and change channels, and he's often heard pounding on the walls very loudly. Meanwhile, this is crazy shit. Others have witnessed hands coming out of the bathroom mirror, and then heard cries of what sounded like a man falling in the ceiling. Isn't this crazy shit?
Okay, so, like, up until you said that, I was like, let's go to the Crescent Hotel and stay in room 218. I cannot
now it's like,
hands
let's
coming
not.
out at me at the mirror. Nope. Can't. I could do everything else. Things coming at me?
Yeah. No,
Hard pass.
Absolutely not. If we stayed there, I would force you to come to the bathroom with me every time I had to go
every
to the bathroom.
time. You would force, I would force. You're going to take a shower, I'm sitting on the toilet while you're showering.
We're 100% crossing the barrier where we're going to shit in front of each other if we stay in this room. Like, it's a guarantee. So, other guests have reported being shaken during the night, and on one occasion, a patron ran screaming from the room, professing to have seen blood splattered all over the walls. Which is, like, very spookala-bookala. But I'm also like, okay, well, maybe they were, like, dreaming, but whatever. So, from the days when the old hotel served as the cancer hospital, the lingering spirit of a nurse dressed in all white is often seen pushing a gurney on the third floor. That's freaky.
That's freaky, again, with the all white.
I know. She only shows up after 11 p.m., which is when they used to move the deceased out of the cancer hospital. And then she vanishes when she reaches the end of the hallway. Ugh.
She just, like, goes, poof. All right, that's it.
Bye. And her gurney.
Bye-bye.
They just leave. See you.
See you later.
Oh my god. So others who have not seen her, but they have reported the sounds of squeaks and rattles, like if you were pushing like a gurney down the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
During the 1930s, this area was used as the morgue, and even today still houses Dr. Baker's, well, quote, doctor, because he was, nothing. But anyway, it still houses his old autopsy table and walk-in freezer. Why would you keep that shit?
No, thank you.
No. The laundry area... I know, it's so gross. The laundry area is also located on the third floor, where a hotel maintenance man once witnessed all of the washers and dryers turning on by themselves in the middle of the night. That poor guy. He does not get paid enough. So, then, okay, so Dr. Baker, well, quote unquote Dr. Baker, has also been seen in the old recreation room in the basement and at the foot of the first floor stairway. And he's dressed in a purple shirt and a white linen suit and looking like kind of confused. And the apparition appears identical to old photographs of this asshole.
He appears confused.
Yeah.
Like, oh crap, what did I do wrong to end up here?
This isn't my quote-unquote hospital. So...
This wasn't supposed to end this way.
For a time, the antique switchboard continued to be utilized in the hotel, but when it continually would receive phone calls from an otherwise empty basement, the old switchboard was discontinued. They were like, can't call us if it's not here, bitch.
Yeah, nope. They had the common sense to do that, but not...
So it was in the basement that those who went to the cancer hospital were often convinced of his miracle cures and would hand over their life savings for the treatment. So they say it's them calling, or it was them calling to share about this. Another remnant of the old hospital days is a ghostly figure who calls herself Theodora. She is most often seen by housekeepers in room 419.
I love that name.
Theodora is a really cool name, isn't it?
That's beautiful. Yeah.
So She courteously introduces herself as a cancer patient, and then she vanishes. So that's how they know that her name's Theodora. She's like, "Hey, I'm Theodora, and I'm like
Oh.
sick," and then like
I
that's
want to
it.
meet Theodora.
Yeah, I could get down with room 419. Like, fuck Michael and all that shit he's pulling in room 218 or whatever. We can't have that. But I could get
No, I
down with
want friendly
Theodora.
things.
Yeah. In the lobby, there is a gentleman often dressed in formal Victorian clothing, complete with a top hat, and he has often been
Ooh.
spotted at the bottom of the stairway and sitting at the bar. Hell yeah, I would hang with this guy
I'll go
too.
have a drink with him.
Yeah. So he is described as distinguished looking, and he has like a mustache and a beard, and many have claimed to entice him into a conversation. And however, he sits quietly and never responds, and then he just disappears. So like, I guess he's not. He's a man of few words, I guess.
He's shy. He's just a
He's
little
just a
shy.
quiet guy.
Yeah. I mean, better than Michael throwing hands at you in the mirror.
Yeah, he's just like, let me drink my shit. I didn't ask for this.
I just want to have a drink.
The hotel's what's called the Crystal Dining Room is another place in the hotel that's said to have like a lot of paranormal activity. Here, there are other Victorian dressed apparitions that people have like encountered, and many have seen groups of dancers that look like they're from the 1890s in full dress attire, dancing around the room in like the very early hours of the morning. Other reports will tell of a 19th century gentleman who is like he's been seen sitting at a table near the windows, and when approached he says, quote, "I saw the most beautiful woman here last night and I am waiting for her to return." Isn't that
That is sad,
sad?
but like,
It's like sweet and sad all at once.
it's so sweet all at the same time, yeah.
Oh. So, a lady who used to be a waitress at the hotel said that she saw a vision of a Victorian bride and groom in the dining room's huge mirror, and the groom allegedly made eye contact with her before they just like faded away. That's I would throw up if that happened. Like I think I would probably just like throw up on the spot.
Same.
Yeah, yeah. So it is said that these Victorian spirits that like linger in the dining room are more playful than like the other spirits. So like on one occasion during the Christmas season, the Christmas tree and all of its packages were found mysteriously moved to the other side of the room. It like all intact. It was just like zoop and it like yeah. Additionally, all the chairs have been moved to circle or face the tree. On another occasion, staff arrived in the morning to find the dining room in perfect order, except all of the menus were scattered around the room.
They didn't like
In
the food
the
options.
kitchen, yeah, they're like, this menu is shit, try again. So in the kitchen, there's a little boy who has been seen skipping around. Sometimes the pots and pans are said to come flying off the hooks just on their own.
Mm.
Another, I know, another supposed spirit is a young female who apparently once attended the Crescent College and Conservatory for Young Women, which was, like I said, it was open between 1908 and 1924. According to the tale, this is really sad. She either jumped from or was pushed from a balcony to her death. And today, guests report hearing her screams while she supposedly falls. Isn't that sad?
That's very sad, but if she's screaming, that, like, points me more in the direction that she was pushed.
I'm thinking she was pushed. Yeah. There have been
Yeah.
ghosts sighted in rooms 202 and rooms, let's see, 424. And there's also a waiter that carries around a tray of butter in the hallways, but it's just butter.
Why
Which,
butter?
like, I mean, where are the rolls? So
Yeah.
when you, if you visit it, you can either try and get a peek at one of the spirits, or if you just want to experience like the long history and the now very luxurious accommodations, you're not gonna be disappointed, right? There's a lot going on here. And today it is said to create an ambiance that has transcended time while providing all the amenities that modern day travelers require. It is surrounded by like over 15 acres of like formal gardens. There are nature trails. Now there are 72 guest rooms and there are 12 luxury suites. And then the spa offers like this full menu of treatments. And yeah, it's just located 8 miles south of the Missouri border in northwest Arkansas near Beaver Lake. That's the Crescent Hotel. That's it. That's all I have on it.
So basically, what you're saying is we can go visit the Kendrick House and then hop on over to the Crescent Hotel.
That's exactly it.
We should really make a trip out of this.
Dude, for sure. I'm into the whole concept of like, because I really want to still hit up like Salem, Massachusetts and shit. We could like sweep down and wrap in and end with like these parties. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, and then if we really wanted to extend it further, we could just hop on down to Louisiana, and we know there's some stuff there. So
we got all kinds of shit in Louisiana. You guys have everything. So yeah, I'm here for it.
But
that's the hotel. I feel like there's 1,000 ghosts there.
there certainly is, or spirits, or just, but wow, just wow. Like I mean,
I know.
I've heard of the Crescent Hotel, but I've never heard in such deep detail of like,
Yes.
I've only heard about the supposed doctor. I did not know about it becoming a college for women. I didn't know any of that history. So that's really pretty fun to learn. Thank you for sharing.
But of course, I didn't know, like, I didn't even know the Crescent Hotel existed until I was like, haunted hotels in America. There it was, and I was like, holy shit.
I think I learned about it on, like, the ghost hunter shows. I believe people have stayed the night in the hotel to try to catch some paranormal activity.
Well, I think if we do that, we have to, first of all, we have to plan on pulling an all-nighter, and I want to hit all these fucking spots.
Right.
Like, I want to hit the rooms, I want to hit the hallway with the nurse, I want to hit the dining room where, like, everybody's having a great freaking time, apparently. I want to meet Theodora. Theodora, she sounds very nice. Like, sign me up. So, I wonder if you call and you request, and you're like, can I have room whatever? If the people at the front desk are like, oh, these people want to see some shit.
Are you sure you want to do that? I feel like that's what they say.
Especially about the Michael room,
right?
The room 218. You want some ghost hands coming at you? No, thank you.
No thanks. I just want to, go to the bathroom in peace. I don't need it scared out of me.
Seriously. I mean, they full on make it sound like you can't take a shit in peace in this place, but that's okay. I mean, I would still be down. Plus, it just sounds beautiful. I mean, obviously, this couple that purchased it in the 90s, they put a great deal of money and work and time into, like, restoring this place.
Yeah. I wonder, so, like, I used to work at a hotel. I used to work the midnight shift. Yes, everybody. And I wonder if those who are on the midnight shift, I would like to hear their stories.
Hell yeah. Well, if we go and we're pulling an all-nighter, we'll just
we're going to have to interview.
You guys busy? You are now. Boom.
Boom. This is Oddities.
You're coming with us. This is Oddities. Everybody, they'll be like, what's Oddities?
Shame on you for not knowing.
You're going to learn today. Yeah. So everybody, thank you very much for joining us for a very spookala boogala episode. Yes. Kelly, thank you for all your hard work and on your, like, family history and crazy shit.
Thank you so much. And, thanks for hearing out on my family history. I was trying not to go too deep into that. I was trying to strictly stay on the spirit side, but then, like, I'm related to them, so...
You have to talk about this. No, it was awesome. You did an excellent job. You're a stellar co-host. Are you ready to do the sign off?
Yes.
Until next time.
Stay strange.